Man, there are no snack stands around here. Can a guy get a push-up pop?
Amen.
Or a churro?
Double amen.
Or a sour cream and onion potato chip?
Triple amen.
Or a... Hey, what's another snack at a snack stand?
A Slurpee.
Or a Slurpee?
Quadruple amen.
Yeah. Oh, well, at least we get to hang out. It's kind of cool that we can all just do our own thing.
Yeah, Roberto's on a guided tour. Justin went to try on a gladiator costume, and Wait a second. Where is Steve?
I'm over here. I found a letter on a secret door. Wow, I found my favorite letter. 7.
So where are we again exactly?
We're in the heart of one of my favorite places, the city of Rome, in Italy.
Ah, yes. And to celebrate, we're gonna roam around this big crumbling stadium or whatever. Yeah.
Andy, we're in the Roman Colosseum. This is like the most famous monument in all of Rome. Maybe even all of Italy.
Of course, I know that. It's where they host the Stupid Bowl or whatever. Yeah.
Andy, they do not host the Stupid Bowl here. That's in Albuquerque.
Okay, who thinks they can catch the ball made of feet?
What? So, no snack stand, no Stupid Bowl. So what's even the point of this place?
Well, in order to know that, we need to learn the history of the Roman Colosseum.
The Roman Colosseum wasn't always known as the Roman Colosseum. Originally, it was known as the Flavian Amphitheater, after Emperor Vespasian of the Flavian dynasty.
Hey, if you guys need any salad, just take some from my hat.
It was built almost 2,000 years ago, around the year 70 AD. A few years prior, in the year 64 AD, an event occurred that is known as the Great Fire. In this event, an enormous fire fueled by high winds destroyed 70% of the city of Rome over the course of 6 to 9 days. In place of the fire, Emperor Nero built a royal palace for, basically, himself.
Only dudes with salad hats and coins on their shoulders can get in.
What?
But years after the Great Fire of 64 AD, Emperor Vespasian ascended to the throne and wanted to give back to the people. So he ordered that the Colosseum be built so that all Roman citizens could be entertained. Outside the Colosseum stood a huge bronze statue of Emperor Nero that was called the Colossus. So the name of the Flavian Amphitheater never stuck. It began to be known as Colosseum, after the statue named the Colossus. The Colosseum was built over 10 years, and although it started under Emperor Vespasian, he died before it was completed, so it was finished by his 2 sons. These guys didn't build the Colosseum themselves. It was done largely by 60,000 to 100,000 enslaved Jewish people, overseen by Roman engineers and craftsmen. It opened in the year 80 AD with 100 days of games.
"100 days of games. So what'd they play? Clue? Guess who? 7-Up?
No, they mercilessly fought each other to the death. Well, it wasn't all fighting and death and stuff. Here, let me explain.
A wide variety of events occurred at the Colosseum for over 500 years. Let's review a few of them. Animals. Animals played a huge part in the Colosseum. Sometimes they were just used for shows, but other times there were animal hunts. These events were called venatio, and in them, hunters would attempt to kill lions, bears, cheetahs, bulls, elephants, hippos, rhinos, wolves, apes, and even crocodiles. Sometimes they would pit the animals against each other. Other times they would have an event with those called the bestiari, meaning beast fighters. There were 2 types of these fights, those that were executed by being forced to fight these animals, and those who volunteered to fight them. Chariot racing. This was a popular event that involved people racing a bunch of horses pulling a carriage manned by one driver. Executions in torture. Although it's sad to say, many people were put to death in the Colosseum. People died in many different ways, but the way they were executed depended on the crime they committed. One such execution was where criminals would fight a well-trained gladiator, and usually they'd lose. Gladiator fights. There were many different types of gladiator fights. Some involved battles with shields and swords, others involved throwing spears. These gladiators were expert fighters and trained for many years to be incredibly good killers. Sometimes their fights were reenactments of famous battles. Other times their combat would end in actual death.
Let's make a deal. If you guys let me live, I'll let you have this green blanket I'm wearing, plus this little baby piece of string I just found.
What?
But many times they would just have a winner without anyone dying. Overall, it's believed that about 400,000 gladiators, enslaved people, criminals, and prisoners died within the Colosseum. But besides all these crazy fights, the coolest thing that may have happened there was something called Nomachii. This was a reenactment of a battle at sea. Now, I know what you're thinking. The Colosseum's on land. How did they reenact a battle in water? In this type of event, the Colosseum would be flooded with tons and tons of water and filled with ships to reenact famous battles.
Animal fights, huh? Sure wish I could see one of those in my lifetime.
Ooh, a secret message. Don't hit the button, Stephen. You can't read what it says, and something bad could happen.
Hit the button, Stephen. Maybe it will put our Legos in the freezer.
What? Did you hear that?
Hear what?
Never mind. So tell me more about this place.
Originally, the Colosseum was a polished, snazzy-looking structure. It was covered in white marble and had ornate columns and carefully crafted statues. But the most famous missing piece is the Colosseum's awning called the Velarium. The Velarium covered 1/3 of the arena and would protect the viewers from the hot Italian sun. No one knows for sure what it looked like, but it is said that it was retractable and was pulled to block the sun by 100 sailors in the Roman imperial fleet. The base of the Colosseum covers 6 acres. That's as many as nearly 55 basketball courts. It's about 615 feet long, 640 feet wide, and about 159 feet high. It is estimated that anywhere from 50 to 80,000 people could fit inside of it. Going to the Colosseum was free, but it required a ticket to get in. These tickets showed you where to enter and where to sit. It had 80 entryways. 76 of them were used by the public, and the remaining 4 were for the emperor, high-ranking officials, gladiators, and a specific entrance for gladiators and animals that died in the arena. There were also 5 tunnels that led into the Colosseum. 4 of them were used for the gladiators, animals, and to move equipment, but the 5th was likely a secret passageway for the emperor.
Do it.
The stands were divided into sections according to your social category. Basically, if you were super important, you had good seats, and if you weren't, you sat in the rafters. Let's go over the sections. This section was closest to the action and was reserved for super important people like senators, priests, and their guests. This section was for important people that weren't senators called equites. These were basically like knights. This section was for ordinary citizens and was cut into 2 sections. One was for the richest poor people, and one was for the really poor people. Last, this one was sometimes called the attic. This section was at the tippy top of the Colosseum, and was sadly for the lowest class of people, enslaved people, and women. Underneath the arena is an area called the Hypogeum. The Hypogeum was a bunch of tunnels and chambers where gladiators and animals were kept before appearing in the arena above. There were even these large shafts that were used to hoist large animals like elephants up and into the arena.
It's getting late. Shouldn't we check on the rest of the crew?
I'm sure they're all totally fine.
Hello there.
The Colosseum is made of a variety of building materials, including bricks, marble, iron, bronze, and concrete. But much of the stronger parts of the Colosseum was made of travertine, a type of limestone from Tivoli, Italy. 200 to 300 tons of iron clamps held the stones together. And if you visited the Colosseum today, you would notice that outside it's covered in a bunch of holes. That's because when the Colosseum was no longer in use, thieves would pry the iron out of the Colosseum because it was really valuable. Iron wasn't the only thing taken from there, as marble once decorated the inside and outside of this landmark, but was later repurposed to be used in the famous St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. So it's covered in holes and missing pieces, but there's also a big chunk of it that's gone. This is because the Colosseum survived a big fire and many earthquakes, which left it looking the way it is now. And speaking of now, the Roman Colosseum is a historic site today that is visited by more than 4 million people a year. Even I visited in 2018.
Wait a second, did you hear that?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you're up to it, like this video and subscribe to my channel. It would really help me out. Also, for my teachers and parents out there, I have downloadable quizzes and worksheets that go along with all of my videos, even this one. Check the comments for a link. Now on to my patrons on Patreon who help keep this channel alive, especially Hannah Y, Avia and Aleutian, Sylvie T aka Mew484, Eliza Sawyer, Philip and Anna Buckley, Roden X and Raiden Z, Toothless and Light Fury, Ethan and Axel, Edward, Mr. Fast, and Mr. Red, Greg Matlock, Jameson, Nolan and Lily, Harrison Eastwood, Asher Evans, Charlie Stone, Connor and Emma B, Luke and Lily Hurlitz, Jakey Jake, Jack and Easton Hess, Logan Turner, Jack Hartzler, Charles and Olivia, Ada S, Farron Witter, Mrs. Brown's First Grade, Rocco, Jason the Kid Parker, the Gauker family, Finn Duncan, Lizzie, Dean and Trevor, Harper, Lily and Thatcher McCoy, Gabe and Elijah, Georgie and his Grammy Jeannie and Grampy Mike, Nora Close, Walker and Cameron West, Caillou, Benny and Finn Miller, Leah S, Jasper Saurus Rex, JJ Schmidt, the Rivard Boys, Brandon Favaza and Mommy, Aubrey, Cookie Crumb, Les Nicky, Kate and Sarah, Gavin Meidel, Miller Daniel and his mom Jennifer, Gavin and Ian Eshtay, Henry Bull Beddoes, The Amazing Mike, Tobin and Nina, Evan Lee, GC, Oshi, Aiden J, Christopher F, Lily, Annabelle, Thomas and Everett, Bert, Kate, Ross and Lindy, Nathan and Ava C, Mika, Jordan and Maya, Rebecca Beanie, Annabelle and Graham, Hannah, Maya and Zoe, Marley and Lennon Kimsey, Gavin Huggin, Connor Higgins, Grant and Ara Brown, Chris the Megalodon, Creative Devin and Zach T, Haley and Ethan Hebbard, Landon C, Kuchan115, Sam and Eddie from London, Lily, Annabelle Slifko, Henry Pavelko, Amelia and Alan Mills, Wesley C, Lillian and Davis Sozin, Ben and Ollie, Lachlan Connor, Carter Levi and Fletcher Crawford, Amelia Silva, Witten, Cruz and Reese Miller, Millie Fennel, Victor B from Canada, Lydia and Finn Biersch, Solomon Caldwell and Asa Caldwell, Connor Lecoq and family, Grisha and Sutpreet, Timmy C, Luke Bradley, Mabel and Graham, Harper Benson, Noah Chin, Luke Raposa, Lennon McCutnett Jones, Page, Avalon and Cash, Ian Parker and Braylon Callis, Elijah Robert, Aiden Fenway Riley, Stephen McPhee, Callum G, Gavin Watt and his cool dad, Julian, Jackson and Jacob, Alexander, Julian and David, Judah, Max C, Mary Margaret M, Jordana and Aaron, Julian and Joseph Pierce, Freddie and Esther Green, and Beatrice Ballar. Do you want to get your name in a video too? Well, visit patreon.com/Mr. DeMaio. If you sign up, you can help me pick my next topic, see my videos early, and more. Check the description box for a link.